Well, talk about moving in the right direction. The market's on fire right now. Bank stocks leading the way. This follows the first back-to-back up weeks for blue chips in almost a year. Dow Industrial's up right now 274 points. Well, in this historically horrible economic downturn, Andy Andrews has a message for you. You can dig yourself out of the financial hole with the power of persistence. No problem. He's actually gone from homeless to hero, from living under a bridge to writing best-selling books and consulting for big businesses like AIG. Yeah, he spent time poolside with Bob Hope. And then, well, he shot skeet with General Norman Schwarzkopf. Doesn't stop there. He's toured on the comedy circuit with Joan Rivers. And he's even got a new book out called The Notice, Sir, well, sometimes all a person needs is a little perspective. Okay, that makes sense. He sounds pretty intriguing, doesn't he? Well, that's exactly why we wanted to book Andy on our show today. How are you doing?
Doing great, Kara. How are you?
You always are doing well, especially compared to when you were 19 years old.
You're not kidding. It's all uphill.
You know, you're obviously, I looked at the family pictures. I mean, you had a beautiful family, but you lost your mom to cancer. Your dad was killed in a car accident. At 19 years old, you found yourself homeless. What happened?
Well, I took one bad decision and lacked it with another one. And I ended up literally under a pier and in and out of people's garages within a couple of years. And so it was a crazy time.
How did you turn it around?
I read. Honest to goodness, I read so much because I met an old guy late one night who gave me 3 biographies. He said, they're from the library. When you get through with them, take them back. And so I did. But these biographies turned into an obsession for me. And I read over the next several years 200 biographies of happy, influential, successful people, trying to find out, you know, is it something they did or were they born this way? And if it was something they did, what did they do?
Interesting. And it took just one person to kind of set a trigger in your mind. Do you still keep in touch with that person?
No, I don't. He's been gone for years now. He's an old man named Jones, and scared me to death one night when he came under my pier. But he was a guy who set my life in a different direction by telling me things I'd never heard.
You never know where your wake-up call is going to come from.
That's exactly right.
All right, so you write about these tips, how to change your life. There were 3 things specifically I wanted to talk about for folks that are struggling right now, and really many of them in the position you were in at 19 years old, wondering, what the hell am I going to do now? Because it's gotten so bad. Make a plan. Make
a plan. I mean, get up every day knowing what you're going to do. You have your idea pile right here with all the names and the numbers and the people and the places. Don't get up and wonder. Go to bed knowing what you're going to do. You know, that old man told me, he said, the people who encourage you and offer you opportunities are not laying on the couch with you when you're depressed. Get out. Go.
Wow, so even if you have nothing, you still need to imagine a game plan.
Yeah, you got to do something. God feeds the birds, but he doesn't throw the worms in our nest.
All right. Think about who you can help, who can you be of value to.
Yeah, this was very important to me, and it's very important for people who are in the worst time in their life to consider who can you help. You know, there is a gratefulness that we need to grab, but who can you help? Who can you be of value to? What company can you help? What nonprofit can you work for? What person can you serve? Because tons of opportunities and encouragement come, even money comes from serving other people.
You're only lacking one idea for success. Stop blaming other people and just take responsibility.
Listen, when we take responsibility, so many people think responsibility is about blaming people or making you feel bad. It's about hope and control. Who among us doesn't want to have hope for a greater future that we can actually control? And so when you realize that if it's your mother's fault, what are you going to do?
Yeah, there comes a point where you have to stop blaming others and look inside yourself. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I doing this? I've got to take responsibility.
But man, if I can make choices that'll lead me to a bad place, I can make choices that lead me to a good place.
So AIG, very interesting. You consulted AIG 3 or 4 years ago. What did they do? Did they bring you in for motivational speaking?
No, I figure if somebody wants somebody to tell them to have a good attitude, I'm not your guy, because your mother should have told you that. I want to talk about principles, and I want to talk about what you should do during tough times.
Well, it seems like it was lacking principles on many levels. I mean, let's take a look at what's happening now. I mean, were you able, did they know they were in trouble? I mean, why did they bring you in?
I don't know. You know, that was several years ago, but I wish somebody'd give me a chance to talk to him now.
What would you say?
I would tell him, he's going in to testify again tomorrow, right? I would say, look, you need to show us your pain. You lived in 10 years ago. You're not in your office by yourself. We're all on the internet. We're looking over your shoulder. We need to see you driving a smaller car, you living in a smaller house, and you can control your descent, because we're all feeling the pain. We need to see yours. You can control your descent, or they're going to throw you out the window.
Good to see you, Andy. Amazing story. Your books are fantastic. You're a fascinating person, even more so in person. Appreciate your time.